ऑन किया है, आया नहीं। एक काम करो, वहां पर वहां करके देख, ऊपर उधर ऊपर वाले में लगा, ऑन कर। एक मिनट। हाँ। So today we are going to see load balancer. Theory related to load balancer we will do tomorrow because we need more concept on that. What exactly is a load balancer? How does it works? Today, in simple, we have to understand what is the purpose of using load balancer. If we have a single application server or web server and there are multiple users to use it, then it can perform very slow, and every server have their own capacity. Capacity means based on the hardware resource, how much RAM it has, how much bandwidth it have, how much processor it, which processor it is using. So based on that, every server is having some limitation of handling number of connection or number of user requests. If it is more than that, then server cannot handle. Just take an example of Google. So what do you think? How many server Google will have? If there is only one server for Google, do you think it can take request of this entire world? It cannot take. But everyone is typing the same address, google.com, and we are getting the same response also. So how it is possible? These all things are possible because of this load balancing features. Okay. So in load balancing feature, what happen? We create similar type of server with similar type of database. Similar type of server with similar type of database in the backend, and in front we place any load balancer. So whatever request come, the request will come to the load balancer, and from there it will be distributed to the backend server. Okay. So just to make you understand how it works, let me open one QRS. So here it will be a appliance, but in AWS it will not be an appliance. So how is the traffic flow? You can see here. We will have a virtual service IP and virtual port. So what exactly is the virtual service IP? Means there is a IP address that exists, but actually that IP address is not responding. That's why we say it as a virtual IP. So on the load balancer, we configure one IP address that is free, not the IP address of server. One free IP address, and we tell the user you have to send request on this IP address. So user connect on the virtual IP, and this IP address belongs to load balancer. Okay, so that all the request comes to load balancer. Now this load balancer, based on the method and the policies, it is going to forward the request to any of the real server which is working in the backend. Understood? So there will be multiple server in the backend, but load balancer knows that who are the real server for this application. So when we configure, we create a group and we add that this is a group related to a specific application and these are the members. So load balancer will receive the request and forward the request to multiple server. So we can say load balancer is like a team leader in any company. What happened? Work comes to direct the end engineer or to the team leader. It comes to the leader, and leader is going to distribute the work to all the employees, all the engineer who is for the same. He manages the all, and he makes sure that everyone is having equal load, workload. So same thing is done here by the load balancer. Got some idea what exactly it is? Okay. So here, just to test the same practical, what we are going to do is we are going to create two servers. One, two servers. And we will create one load balancer. And while creating load balancer, we'll put both in a group. Okay. Then there will be one user on the internet who is going to access this service. This is a internet user. An internet user is connected with the internet, and my load balancer is also connected in the internet and internet like this. So this will be our whole practical which we are going to do now. This is my load balancer. This is my RS real server 1, and this will be my real server 2. So here as a real server we'll use EC2 machine. Okay. And what exactly is this? Load balancer group. So both the server is a member of load balancer group, and this one is what? This one is our client. So client is going to send the request, and this one is internet. So I hope concept is clear. So request will come from the client to the load balancer first, and load balancer is going to distribute the request to the same backend server which is there in the back. So first thing you have to do is you have to create a two EC2 machine. Okay, and this practical you have to perform fast. For me 15 minutes is enough. I am giving you 30 minutes to complete this all practical parallelly. Two Linux EC2 machine with web server. Last time you have done created one web server. Okay, so you have to create web server. Only the change here what you have to do, in a real scenario web server page will be same, but here we will put it different so that we can see the request is going on one server, second request is going on second server. Understood? But in real scenario the content of the web page will be same. This point is clear. And when you are configuring this, allow HTTP in security group. Okay, so only this one, no need to create this VPC and all, nothing. Just you do this one. After that, it will take 5 minutes. You will perform practical along with me. Okay. To Linux machine with web server. So नहीं खुल रहा तो वो क्या जाएगा? हमारा प्रॉब्लम है. ट्रबल शूट करो, कहाँ दिक्कत आ रहा है। इतना जल्दी हार मानोगे कैसे होगा? ट्रबल शूटिंग कैसे सीखेगा? I will start my practical at 7:40. Now it's 7:32 after 8 minutes of you. ठीक है, गलती तो किया ही होगा, नहीं करेगा तब तो मतलब ही नहीं। ये लाइनेक्स सर्वर बनाया है। अभी तुम्हारा वेब सर्वर नहीं खुल रहा। कहाँ प्राइवेट आईपी डाल रहा है? गर्दन में दबा दे तुम्हारा। कभी भी पब्लिक आईपी से खुलता है, प्राइवेट आईपी से नहीं खुलता है। बाहर से कोई भी एक्सेस प्राइवेट आईपी से थोड़ा ही करेगा, पब्लिक आईपी से करेगा ना। सर्वर क्रिएटेड। हाँ, जल्दी जल्दी करो। ये 1 वीक पूरा छुट्टी एंजॉय करके आइए सब। Be serious, all of you, because your course may finish by 15th to 17th of this month. Every day you see I am teaching new topic, and if you are not going to revise, then you will be lagging behind. You have to practice, and if you face any issue, you have to come to me immediately. Else, only solution will be again when I start new batch, you have to repeat it. So practice every day, whatever I teach. Where is your laptop? Done. Web server. Accessible also. Once you create, check whether the web server are accessible or not. So I am going to create two Linux machine, and here I have the option number of instance. No, let it be one only. Change it. Once it is done, then now it's time for configuring web server. So for server 1, only few commands are there we need to execute: sudo su cd enter yum install http asterisk space minus y. So it will install all the packages required for HTTP. So now it's completed to install. The next command I need to execute is systemctl start httpd, and then we have to enable the same service. After this, we have to create a web page. Okay. Same thing, once we have done, we need to verify whether it is accessible or not. So if your web page is accessible, then only we move for further things. Now moving to the second server. For the second server, copy the public IP, EC2 minus user sudo su cd enter yum install http asterisk minus y. Done this all. Configuring web server in Linux is very easy. It's not very tough. But same thing if I'm going to show you in Windows, there is a lot of steps. Once it is complete, systemctl start httpd and enable httpd to permanent start the service. Vi slash var which contain the database www html folder index.html. Now when we are going to access the second page with this public IP address, it should be accessible. Again repeating the same, in the real scenario we maintain same web page content. Here just for practice to understand the request is going on both server, we have given different content. Okay, so now all of you see here, we have two web server we have created in Linux. After this, what are the steps we need to perform for a load balancing? So in EC2 you will see the option here, there is a load balancing. In the load balancing, we have the option target group. So first we will create a target group. Target group means we will create a group and we will add both the server. Or if we have more than two server, we will add this server as a member. So create target group. So you want to create target group for what? Instance, IP address, Lambda function, or anything else. So now we are practicing for instance. So we will go with the instance option. It is asking what is your target group name. Which protocol you are using, HTTP, HTTPS? We are using here HTTP, so we will allow HTTP. If there is any other protocol, any other application, accordingly we will select. VPC, which VPC you are using? So the default one which is here. Rest all as it is, you don't need to change. What exactly is the rest all? Which protocol version you support. If you support one, then it will support 2 also, but if you support 2 means it will support only HTTP version 2. So that's why we will let it HTTP 1. Next is health check. What exactly is a health check? It will send HTTP request to the backend server. Who will send? This load balancer, and check whether the server is giving service or not. If it is not giving service, it will mark that server as a down, and it will not forward the user request on that server. So that is the health check. So which protocol you want to use for health check, HTTP or HTTPS? This path, don't change this path because slash means the default path. Now next, here it is asking register target. Register target means add instance in the group. So whatever server you want to add in the group, you select them. Scroll down, include as pending below, and then here is the option create target group. Understood? So this is how we have to create a group and add the servers in group. Once it is done, then you have to go to the load balancer option. In this load balancer, create load balancer. There are multiple type of load balancer. So here just by seeing the example, you can select which one you are going to select out of these three. Huh? Which load balancer? Application load balancer, because here it is very clear that which load balancer is used for which type of service. So here we will select application load balancer. Here we have the option create. Now first load balancer name. What you want it for, internet facing or internal? So if you are creating for internal server and internal employees, then internal means totally private. If you are doing it for public, you will select internet facing. So here we will select internet facing. For IP version 4 or dual stack. Dual stack means for IP version 4 and 6 both the type of addresses. So here we are using 4, so we will select 4. Network mapping and all. So this is availability zone. So which availability zone is your servers? So at least 2 we have to select. So we will select instead all. Now here is security group. Which security group? So here we will select the security group which I have created. Why I will select this one? The reason is in this I have allowed HTTP. Understood? If you select any other security group, then you have to go and allow HTTP service there. Listener and routing. So who is going to listen? HTTP protocol on port number 80. If you want See, whenever any request comes, then where to forward? So select your target group which you have created. After this, you see these all options are optional. This is the WAF, means for your web server you want additional firewall. I don't need now. Okay. Do you want any accelerator to improve the performance of web server? No, I don't want now. Then this is the summary what you have selected. Okay, and create load balancer. So every practical what I am showing you in this AWS, try to practice 3 times 4 times until you memorize the steps, and never practice with your notebook and videos. First try by your own. If you are stuck, then refer your notebook or videos. So just now I told you to create this Linux web server. If you would have practiced already, you don't need to see anywhere. Just you'll open and start. So if you practice properly, then only you can understand this concept. Again, in the next day we will have auto scaling. Again, the step will be very big. But half of the step you have already done. Like if you see in the load balancer, how much was new? Only 50%. Rest all you have already done. So if you practice properly, just I will write one line, do this, and you can perform those practicals. Once the load balancer is created, click on load balancer and check the status of your load balancer. So here the state is provisioning. It should be available. Once it is available, then you will be able to see the load balancer. And also when you go inside the load balancer, you can scroll down and you can see the health status. Okay, so let it complete first, then we will be able to see the resource mapping, how it works. It will listen on this port, forward it to this group, and then this is the group name. See, what is the status now? Target registration is in progress. So you have to check two things. Immediately if you try, you will not be able to open. So you have to check two things. One, in the target group when you go, both the servers should be healthy. As of now, what is the status? Zero healthy, zero unhealthy. What is the reason? You see, earlier it was unused, now it changed to initial. Once it becomes healthy, then only your request will be forwarded on those servers. Okay, so we need to wait until these all things are done. You see, health status is initial, target registration is in progress. Okay, and meanwhile we can check the status of our load balancer also, whether it changed to active. Yes, now it changed to active. We can access. How we can access? When you go inside the load balancer, there is a DNS name. You see, DNS name. So this URL you have to use. Then you will think it is a big, very big URL, how everyone can access. Then for that we have a service called Route 53. In that we will come to know how we can make a shortcut for this big name, like www.basins.com and all. So as of now, with big name we will have to access, big URL we have to access. On that time we will relate the same, that how we can short it. Okay. So we cannot access until the servers are healthy. Now you see, what is the status of server? Healthy. Now if you try, you will be able to access. So click on your load balancer, copy this DNS name, copy it, open your incognito window, http colon double slash, paste it, enter. So when you are going to access, you can see you are in, refresh it. Now where you are, again in Bangalore, only the page is changing here. Mumbai, another request is going to Bangalore, another request is going to Mumbai. Just to show you that one request, when you refresh, it goes to one server, another request is going to another server. So this is how the request of all user is distributed on multiple servers by the load balancer. Understood? So that's why when we access, we get the same page and the server is not slow because of this load balancer. In the backend, there are a lot of servers which is giving the service. Is it clear? So practice it well. Now, how to delete, that is a very big thing. And if you are not going to delete, you know better what is going to happen. So first, delete the load balancer. You see, successfully deleted. So no load balancer is there. Then you have to delete your target group. Delete. Target group is also deleted. The way how you have created, same way you will delete. And the third thing is your instance. You will select and terminate these all instances.